In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth had no shape, no order, and no light. Darkness covered the deep waters, and everything was still, waiting for the voice that would begin all things. Then God said, "Let there be light," and light filled the darkness. That was the first day. On the second day, God made the sky and divided the waters below from the waters above. On the third day, dry land appeared, and the earth brought forth grass, plants, and fruit trees. On the fourth day, God placed lights in the heavens, the sun to rule the day, and the moon and stars to shine through the night. On the fifth day, the seas filled with living creatures, and the sky filled with birds in flight. On the sixth day, the earth brought forth animals of every kind. And then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness." So God made man and woman, and he saw that what he had made was very good. On the seventh day, God rested, and he blessed that day. Then the story draws close, and we see the first man lying in the dust of the ground. God breathed into him the breath of life, and the man opened his eyes. Adam rose, alive in a garden planted by God himself. It was full of beauty, rivers, trees, and every good thing he needed. God told him to tend it and keep it, and God gave him one command. He could eat from every tree except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If he ate from that tree, he would surely die. Adam lived among the animals, but no companion was found for him. So God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and from his side, he made a woman. When Adam saw her, he knew at once that she belonged with him. He said she was bone of his bones and flesh of his flesh. They were together in the garden, and they felt no shame. But then came the whisper in the garden. The serpent spoke to the woman and twisted God's words. He asked if God had really forbidden the fruit. Eve answered that they were not to eat from that tree, or they would die. The serpent told her they would not surely die. He said their eyes would be opened, and they would be like God, knowing good and evil. Eve saw that the tree looked good, and she took the fruit and ate. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate too. At once, everything changed. They knew they were naked, and for the first time they felt shame. They tried to cover themselves with leaves, and when they heard God in the garden, they hid. God called to Adam, asking where he was. Adam answered that he was afraid because he was naked. When God asked if he had eaten from the tree, Adam blamed the woman, and Eve blamed the serpent. Then judgment came. The serpent was cursed. Pain entered human life. The ground itself was cursed, and Adam was told that he would struggle for food all his days. Then came the words that still echo through all human history: "Dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Adam and Eve were sent out of Eden, and the way back was closed. Outside the garden, life grew harder. In time, Adam and Eve had sons, Cain and Abel. Abel was a shepherd, and Cain worked the ground. Both brought offerings to God, but God accepted Abel and his offering, while Cain and his offering were not accepted. Cain burned with anger, and God warned him. God told him that sin was waiting at the door and that he must rule over it. But Cain did not listen. He brought Abel out into the field, and there he attacked his brother and killed him. Then God called to Cain and asked, "Where is Abel, your brother?" Cain answered with the bitter words, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God knew what had happened. He said that Abel's blood was crying out from the ground. Cain was cursed from the earth he had worked, and he would become a restless wanderer. Cain feared that his punishment was too great to bear, yet he had to carry it and live with what he had done. Then the generations began to pass. Adam had another son, Seth, and through Seth the family line continued. The names were remembered one after another: Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Methuselah, and others, each lifelong, each life marked by the same ending. They lived, they had children, and they died. The world kept moving under the weight of the curse. But one man stood out in that long line. Enoch walked with God. His life was different, close to God in a way that broke the pattern. And then he was no more, for God took him. The generations continued until Lamech held a son and named him Noah. He believed this child would bring comfort from the painful work of their hands and the hard ground the Lord had cursed. So these first chapters begin with light, beauty, and life, and they move quickly into fear, loss, and death. But even here, at the very start, the story does not end in darkness. A child is born, a line continues, and the world waits for what God will do next. If you want, I can turn this into a more dramatic stage-style version too.